at MD&M in Westpac, beautiful, sunny Southern California. Always good to get out from Chicago in February.
Absolutely.
I can't remember, where are you coming from?
So I'm from Pennsylvania, so our headquarters is in Wayne, Pennsylvania. I'm personally in the Hershey, Pennsylvania area.
Okay,
yes.
Nice. Oh, the smell there.
The Hershey chocolate, yes.
Lucky you. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about two new products that you have, very exciting new products for the medical market. And the first one is going to be the new lower weight reinforced coated papers. So tell us about that. What is it? How is it used in medical packaging? And then we'll get into some, I'm sure I'll have more questions.
Okay, yeah, so when you look at the new lower weight reinforced paper, so used on top of trays for applications, packaging any medical device that requires a sterile barrier. So it does allow you to sterilize the package, and it's could be an alternative to Tyvek depending on the specific application. Really depending on what the ultimate requirements are for the customer.
Okay.
But for us, it really also allowed us to improve our supply chain by sourcing some different papers as well.
Nice.
And be able to get materials out to customers on a little bit more of a timely basis.
So speaking of supply chain and availability, there are a lot of consumer packaged goods companies that are making that switch from plastic packaging to paper packaging. And I'm working on a couple of different articles about the business impacts of that. But have you had any difficulty from a sourcing point of view for what you need?
I think there are challenges
okay.
everywhere at some point in time that we have to manage. So we're always working through those challenges to be able to supply customers. But that is one of the reasons why we looked at this specific product that allowed us, from a better sourcing perspective, to be able to get this product out there to customers.
Okay, so it's reinforced coated paper, and I'm assuming that the reinforcement is why you can lightweight it, correct?
Honestly, I'm actually not the best person to talk about that, so I'm going to kind of punt that question.
Sure.
Because I don't want to say anything that's
okay.
Incorrect.
Yep, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And coated papers, I know that it needs to be coated for the fiber control, correct?
So also coating from a sealability perspective to the package.
Okay.
So ultimately, using the right coatings that you're going to be able to get a good seal. Mm-hmm. So that's also the reason why you're using different coated to be able to get that seal ultimately to your package.
Okay.
Yeah.
And mostly to trays and
so,
typical trays in the medical industry.
So it's great, kind of a great segue almost to the next question
yes,
as well.
Is.
But the workhorse in the industry, PETG to a large degree.
Yep.
So certainly sealing to PETG, but also sealing to our TekniPlex DPX material, which is the alternative.
Okay.
That's some of your common materials that you're going to be seeing that this could be sealed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are the performance characteristics similar as far as like how it runs, the speed that it runs on the thermoforming, the filling and the sealing?
Yeah, so when we talk about speeds, you can definitely reach the same speeds that you're getting from a PETG perspective. One of the advantages of actually running the PX materials is that you can run a little bit cooler.
Nice.
So there's potential energy savings.
Yes,
potential energy savings. So that's a big deal as well for our customers, that if they want to bank those savings, they can do that. Or they can run at similar temperatures to PETG and maybe run at a little bit of a faster line speed to actually get a little bit more of an output out as well.
Wow, that's actually a great decision to have to make.
It is
for those MD&Ms.
And it is a drop-in replacement in regards to tooling. So our customers don't have to look at doing any sort of modification to tooling. They're able to use that same tooling that you're using PETG today and drop in this material.
Okay.
So that's a really nice advantage.
Okay. One last question about this before we move on to the next interesting new product that you've got, and that is the sterilization processes that it can withstand.
Yeah, so there is no limitation in regards to sterilization processes with PX versus PETG. Anything that you're doing with PETG today, you can do with PX.
Okay.
So your E-beam, ETO, all of the above we can cover with the PX material.
Okay. Oh, ETO. Okay, so we're a little old school.
Yeah.
They're going with just EO these days.
Yeah, I know.
That was so hard for me to take. It's like, but wait, I've been calling it ETO.
I know. Yeah, I know. I have to get that in my lingo as well, Lisa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Old school.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next new product that I'd like to hear about is the TekniMD P as in Paul
PX.
X.
Yeah,
PX.
so that's actually what we've been talking a little bit about already.
And this is a thermoformable copolyester alternative to PETG.
Absolutely,
Yep.
yeah. And actually, one of the really big deals about the TekniMD PX material is that it does come with a resin code 1 recyclable. It's a
Okay.
recyclable material. So,
Okay.
you know, and if you do look in PETGs, there are some geographies where PETG is a 7. 7 now. California is actually one of those where PETG is now a 7. So when you look at a true recyclability, the TekniMD PX material allows you to put in the same stream as soda pop bottles, water bottles, and so forth. That same stream. So that is a really nice advantage. If you look at thermoformers as they develop any sort of waste in the cutting process, all of that can go to your number 1 recycle stream.
Okay, and I would imagine the vast majority of products that would go in this are removed, hopefully aseptically, removed, and then that tray is recycled.
Potentially. I mean, certainly, you know, in the medical environment, you know, anytime you do have medical waste that could potentially come in contact with bodily fluids, that's not something that can be recycled. But if it is handled in a way that, you know, that doesn't interact, it can end up in the recycle stream.
Okay.
Yes.
So, alternative to PETG, what are the benefits of this over PETG?
So, I mean, we already touched a little bit on the recyclability, you know, given the geography. The other thing is we touched on this a little bit earlier as well, the temperature range that you can thermoform at it.
Okay.
You can go a little bit lower in temperature, allowing some savings in energy, which, you know, another way to kind of hit a sustainability target. There's also the ability to down gauge versus PETG. There is a little bit more rigidity that comes with PX, the PX material.
Okay.
And in some cases that means that customers can now use a thinner gauge and still pass their transportation tests and all of the associated tests. So they get some savings in regards to you know, just using a thinner gauge.
Right.
And there could be potentially you know, carbon dioxide emissions. As you start to really do that down gauging, CO2 footprint can be reduced as well.
Okay. I would imagine though that the stiffer material, if that's the correct description,
yeah, that's a good way to look at it.
Stiffer material that can go lower gauge. Are you seeing a higher incidence though of cracking?
No.
Okay,
no.
so how are you able to control the stiffness but not break it?
Yeah, I mean,
add to the breakage.
When you really just, it's as you kind of break down the material properties, you're not seeing that increase in cracking. It's still performing well in those transportation tests.
Okay.
So it just hasn't been something that we've seen.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you didn't get all technical with polymer stuff because it would have been shoo, 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 right over my head.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Is there anything more about these two products that you want to tell me? Obviously, they've been designed to work together, correct?
Well, you know, interestingly enough, I mean, when you look at TekniPlex, we are now one singular healthcare division. Previously, we had operated under different divisions. So the coated paper was in the flexibles business, and the TekniMD PX material was in the films business.
Okay.
So. Wow, we're one division,
and
it makes sense to now to add them together. So we're leveraging that internally that we hadn't done before.
Okay.
So that's exciting for us, selling under one division, and our customers are now seeing that full breadth and saying, you actually have something that has top and bottom, you know, that you may not have told me about before because I was talking to one salesperson. Yeah. So that's been exciting for us, you know, really being this one division that we can show a full solution versus just individual components.
Okay.
So that's
wonderful.
Exciting.
Well, best of success.
Thank
with
you.
These new products.
Yes.
Last question.
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind, how's the show been for you?
This show's been great. You know, The show's been great. I think we've had a lot of interactions with our existing customers, but the cool thing for us, I think, the leads that have been coming in have been quality leads. So it's really been a great show.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
thank you for that.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.